No, yeah, no, no, yeah, no. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you could see by the title of this video, I'm gonna be talking about something that is very close to my heart. It happens to be the biggest part of my life. It made me who I am. This person basically was everything to me, so I thought it would be important to make a video about everything that happened. And if you hear the car in the back, it's really hot outside, so I can't like just turn off the car. I did write like notes and stuff because I didn't want to leave anything out. This was like a really big, crucial time in my life. As it was happening, I didn't know that it was gonna be so engraved in my head, you know, but it is. I just wrote down things that like happened and I'm just gonna talk about it. I don't know if this video is gonna be like super sad. I don't know if I'm gonna cry. I don't want to cry because I'm just trying to like tell you guys and like let you know, because I know that I'm not the only person that this has happened to. You know, everybody is like different, everybody handles it differently, everybody thinks about it differently, everybody reacts differently basically. So if I say anything that hurts your feelings, I'm sorry, but this is just the way my mind was floating and working. So yeah, let's get into the video. In March of 2015, I was 15 years old. I was a sophomore in high school. At this time, I was still living in LA, close to like 𝓐𝓶 𝓐𝓵. When this happened, it was during the week that we had cases. I know that it's not a thing anymore, but it was back when I was in 10th grade. This wasn't very like unusual to me because my dad like was often sick. I guess I should start with like a backstory before I even start all of this. So let me backtrack 16 years before this incident. Before I was born, my dad actually got diagnosed with kidney failure. So when my mom was pregnant, they actually thought that she just had like a really big tumor in her tummy, because they thought that it was like impossible for her to have like been pregnant, considering that my dad was like already like sick. I was born in the prime of my dad being sick. My mom started working more after I was born, and my dad was basically the person of the house. He took care of everything around the house. Basically, he was like raising me, of course, because he had the time to raise me and be there all the time. I know I'm talking like dumb, but like, you know how you talk like kind of dumb when you're like trying not to cry, so please bear with me. Throughout the years, my dad basically, he would be in and out of the hospital all the time, and to me, I never saw it as a bad thing. I never thought bad about anything like that my dad had wrong with him, because every time my dad went to the hospital, he always came back home. I'm trying guys. Every time he went to the hospital, he always came back home, and that was my mentality on the whole situation. Every time, no matter how sick he was, no matter like how big of a surgery he was getting, he always came back home. Me not seeing my dad for a couple days was like normal sometimes, because of course after surgery like you have to be in the hospital and stuff, and you know, sometimes I was like too young to go in there, so to me it was normal. I was always gonna see my dad after. As you can imagine, me and my dad were really close, because I mean, anytime I was not at school, I was with my dad. That was the homie and my best friend. You can imagine how close we were. being that we just had each other. So let me fast forward to the time I'm talking about. I'm not gonna cry no more. I'm not gonna cry no more. It was maybe on a Monday where I had went to the restroom and I had seen my dad in a not so good state. I didn't think anything of it. I guess maybe just like being naive or something. I just thought like, okay, he's gonna go to the hospital and he's gonna come back like he always does. Like, it's no big deal. He'll be back. He'll be okay. That morning I had just walked to school and my sister went to take my dad to the hospital, and so I basically just went to school. I guess it was heavy on my mind, but it was not something that I ever talked to about with my friends because I don't think people like understand. When I would try to talk to my friends, I feel like they always expected me to be sad about everything, like be sad about the way that my dad was, and I was never sad about it because I guess like the bright side to him being sick was that I got to have a best friend 24/7. He was available to me at all hours of the day, and whenever I needed somebody, I knew I could walk like a couple doors over or call somebody and somebody would be there to talk to me and to help me. I didn't say anything. I would like text my mom and my sisters like, you know, like what's going on, when is he coming home or anything, and they wouldn't really like tell me. But again, like I didn't take it the wrong way because, you know, sometimes like he would be too sick where they didn't know when he would be able to come home. I didn't like take it, something was super wrong, I guess. I think 2 days later is when the cases were happening. In high school that I went to, we had a uniform. At this time, everybody was like all over the place, so nobody like washed my clothes, I remember. Or like I didn't even wash my own clothes, whatever. So I remember I had like some very like faded uniform pants and like a very like ugly uniform shirt, and I just like threw that on. I threw on like the ugliest outfit ever because it was like KC time. So I was like, we're not even gonna go to lunch or anything. It doesn't really matter what I dress like, you know? I was like, all right, let's go. This morning, we had all got into the van and my school was like directly on the street of where my house was. So we all got in the car and they started driving. You turn left kind of to like go to the entrance of my school, and they didn't turn left. You know, like I need to go take my cases. So I was like, where are we going? And they were like, oh, we're gonna go see my dad. So I got kind of happy because, you know, no school and like I'm gonna go see my Papi. I was just like really excited. My dad did have a lot of other things wrong with him besides like his kidney failure. Like with the years, of course, like stuff is gonna rack up. Like his kidney failure was not like his only problem. I remember that my mom had sent a video of my dad on like the bed, the hospital bed, and he was like saying hi to my nephews that lived in New Mexico. Well, they still live in New Mexico, so he was like, hi everybody, like I'm okay and stuff like that. And she had sent that like one of the 2 days that I wasn't there, that I was in school. I just thought that he was okay still, you know. I didn't get any updates or anything. The day finally came for me to go see my Papi. And I remember, you know, walking into that room. There's people. Okay, the people left. Sorry about that. I remember going into the room and seeing my dad there. I guess that day is when I got a little scared, but throughout this whole process, I still had a lot of hope because even when other people doubted him, he always came back home. Those kind of onions. I did cry, I'm not gonna lie, but I never cried because I thought he wasn't gonna come home. I cried because I knew he was in pain, and I didn't like that for him. The day after that I saw my dad, he was put on life support. I am the youngest of 7. If you've never watched my videos before, hi. So I do have 5 sisters and a brother, and then me, so that's 7. So one of my sisters was in the Marines, so at this time she was stationed in Honolulu, Hawaii. Well, basically a 6-hour airplane ride away. My other sister lives in New Mexico, which at the time was like a 22 to 24 hour drive, California to New Mexico. I guess the thing that scared me the most about this happening was when I heard that my sister was gonna get flown over here, like Red Cross could flow her to California on an emergency basis because of my dad's condition. And when I heard that my sister was gonna be traveling from New Mexico, I think that really scared me. I think seeing all my siblings in one room after so long is what really got me scared. Every family has their problems, so because of that, you know, for a while my family didn't get along. So to see them all in one room, it made my heart happy, but it also made me realize what was going on. I did miss school for a week or two. I did mention that we were taking the cases. At this time, I went to a very small school, like everybody knew each other. I do know that the principal went around to every classroom and like told everybody to pray for my dad. I want to say thank you to Mr. Madrano. Basically, I think everybody knows that he made a big impact on everybody's lives, but I think that was really cool. Like, he didn't have to do that, but he did. On that note, a lot of people knew about what was going on. I guess just didn't care. I did have like 2 people checking in on me, and I know one of those 2 people actually did come to my dad's funeral, which I like really appreciate her, because we didn't always get along, but you know, like drama aside, she stepped up and she was a good friend, and you know, she was there to like hug me in a time where I really needed a friend. So shout out to Nicole. Throughout this process, we had to choose if we wanted to fix what was going on, which, as the doctor put it, it would be like putting tape over a boat that has a hole in it. Basically, like, it would keep happening. Like, the tape would be obviously a temporary solution. There would still be water coming through that hole at the end of the day. That it would be something that would never stop. I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. So we had to choose between putting tape over a hole in a boat or just letting my dad go completely. Although I was super against it, at the end of the day, I think we all know that was what was right. If you know my dad, he was really happy. He was always smiling. He was nice to everybody he met. Even if he didn't like them, he was always nice. It's just the person he was. To see him in so much discomfort and pain really took a toll on everybody. I guess we all decided that was the right thing to do. We were there every day. It would be there as early as possible to as late as possible. There was like a lot of kids and stuff, so you know, like, it was kind of difficult to just have kids in a room waiting, doing nothing. The way I like explaining it to you guys, I never gave up hope. Even when I felt like everybody else had, I never really tried to cry in front of my family. I remember, like, if I felt I couldn't like hold it in anymore, I would like go to the bathroom and just cry and like just look in the mirror and be like, why? Like, why me? Why now? I remember my sister had told me that like if I wanted to talk to my dad, so I had my chance to go. And I remember I was really scared to even touch him because I didn't want to hurt him. And I remember I just grabbed his hand and I just started begging him. I begged him for a long time to not leave me because I was scared, because I knew that I would be alone. But at the end, I let him know that if he didn't want to, if he couldn't take the pain, that it would be okay for him to leave, because I know I could take care of me, because he taught me well, and because I had 5 sisters and a brother that I thought would take care of me the way my dad did. I knew that me begging him was not going to change because he had no control over what was going on in his body. I told him, if you can, then please stay with me. But if you can't, then I'll understand. I'll be here to remember, to just continue the legacy. So on March 19th, around 10:45 a.m., we did get a call that my dad had passed away. So we rushed to the hospital, and I walked in and hugged my mom, hugged my dad and kissed him, and said our goodbye. Basically, I would say that I truly in my heart never believed, I still don't believe that my dad is gone, which maybe that could be like a whole other video. To me, in my heart, I always feel my dad's gonna come home. I've always felt strongly about my dad still coming home. I would say that after this, I did stop believing in God. I hated doctors and nurses as a whole, and I basically hated the world for a long time. I felt really lost and really hopeless. It was rare that I would not cry, regardless of being at school, being at home, or anything. I was most of the time crying, which really sucked. I went to school because I didn't want to be home without my dad. I also did take days where I would stay home and blast oldies and remember him and just celebrate him. So that's all I really have for this video. I'm sorry that I cried. I said I wouldn't, but I mean, I was gonna cry. There was no stopping that. I know there's people that have and will deal with this at some point in their life, and I always tell people that I'm here for them. No matter what, if we're on bad terms, if there's bad blood, if you ever need a friend, I'm here, because I know how it feels, and I don't know how to explain how I feel anymore. I will say that the pain does live on with you forever. I guess you just accept it over time, that's how you're gonna feel forever. With time, you will learn to do things to celebrate them that will lift the weight off your heart. But if you guys want another video, about this subject, then I'm more than happy to make it, because this is a super serious subject, and I always wanted to talk about my dad. And I will make story times with my sister and stuff, because my sister knows a lot of stories that I didn't get to hear. So I will be doing stories on my dad, and I will be inserting pictures and stuff. And my dad is a huge part of my life, so he will be in most of my videos, I guess. I will always talk about him, because that's me. I hope you guys liked this video. Don't forget to comment, and subscribe. Just remember, if you ever need a friend, hit me up on Instagram or Twitter, or comment below. And thank you guys for watching me cry. I sound so weird right now. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. No, no, no.